Hello children, welcome to another session of Geography Class 10. And today we are going to start with the climate chapter of India. So it is question number 3 on your question paper, and a very important chapter as questions related to it is also asked in your map work. So it needs thorough study and thorough understanding. So please let's get started and ready to jot down the notes on climate of India. Now, if it is asked what is the climate of India, please do refer to as tropical monsoon type of climate. If you only write tropical climate, the board is not granting you marks. If you are writing monsoon climate, even though the board will not grant you marks, only when you write tropical monsoon type of climate, the board is going to give you marks. So this is exactly the type of climate that we have in India. Now around the world there are many such places where similar climate is found because these places are influenced by the monsoon winds. But here, and we can also see that the Indian subcontinent also has the tropical monsoon type of climate. But in this chapter, we are only going to focus on India, the climate of India as tropical monsoon type of climate. Now, there are many factors which are affecting the climate of India. Now, what are these factors which are affecting the climate of India? That is the latitude, the altitude, the relief, distance from the sea, the Himalayan mountain, distribution of land and water, surface pressure and wind, the upper air circulation like the jet streams, the western cyclones like the western disturbances. So these are the various factors which are affecting the climate of India, and one by one we will study each of them. Okay, now we start with the Himalayas. Now the mighty Himalayas, how they are affecting the climate of India. Now the mighty Himalayas, they are spread all along the northern plains, north of India. Now they are acting as a barrier. They do not let the cold Siberian winds from the north reach India during the winters. Neither does it let the monsoon winds to leave the nation during the monsoon period. Otherwise, all the monsoon winds would move towards the north without giving any rainfall in the northern plains. And similarly, during the winters, it would have been extremely cold if it was not barricaded by these Himalayan mountains. So these Himalayas are very important, and often when the question is asked, how does the Himalayas act as a climatic divide, we must write these 2 points. Firstly, that it does not let the cold Siberian winds to enter the country, and secondly, it does not let the monsoon winds to leave the nation. Okay, next, the distance from the sea. Now this is again a very important factor which is affecting the climate of India. Now places which are near to the sea, you can see that they have a very moderate climate. You can enjoy when you go to any of these places which are in the south near to the sea. During the winter months, you find a very moderate climate. You don't require any warm clothes. Why is it so? It is because of the influence of the land and sea breeze in such places, which makes the climate very moderate, and as such their annual range of temperature is low. Whereas like us living in Lucknow or places which are away from the sea, we do not have the influence of the sea around us, and as such what we have a very extreme type of climate. The summers are very hot and the winters are extremely cold. So that was the defect of the distance of the sea. We have an extreme type of climate living in Lucknow, away from the sea, influence of the sea, whereas all the places near to the sea, they have a very moderate climate. Now, the next is the influence of the relief features. Now, relief features like the mountains. When we say relief feature, we mean the mountains which are there. Now, they also affect the climate of India. And how are they affecting the climate of India? When a warm wind, carrying moisture, when as it moves, it strikes the mountain. It is not able to move ahead, and as such, what is happening, as you can see in the picture, it is rising. The warm air is rising higher and higher. Along the hill slope, it is rising. And as it is rising, what is happening? It is becoming cooler and cooler. When it becomes cooler, condensation takes place. Finally, saturation occurs and heavy rainfall occurs in the windward side. Remember, children, you have studied about the relief rain in class 9. So this is just like the relief rainfall or the orographic rainfall, which occurs due to the presence of the relief features. So heavy rainfall occurs in the windward side, and you can see, children, that most of your vegetation you will find evergreen forests along the windward side. The other side is the leeward side. Now, as the winds move to the other side of the mountain, they become dry because most of the moisture has been shed in the windward side. The other side of the mountain, which is the leeward side, there less rainfall occurs, and that region is also known as the rain shadow area. So this is how the relief features influence the climate of India. Now the monsoons are also influencing the climate of India. There are summer monsoons, winter monsoons. Now we will study about the mechanism of the monsoon in our next sessions. Now what happens in the summer monsoon? That the low pressure occurs in the northern plains, and the winds from the high pressure region are rushing towards the low pressure region, and this is how the summer monsoon occurs. It is bringing rainfall to the major part of the country, whereas the winter rainfall reverse occurs. A high pressure area is developed over the land and the low pressure area is over the sea. Now winds are moving from land towards the sea, and what is happening? Because the winds are coming from the land area, it is not carrying moisture and it is not giving rainfall to major part of the country. And only some part of the country is getting rainfall. When the winds are moving across the Bay of Bengal, it's carrying moisture and giving rains as it strikes the Tamil Nadu coast. So this is the monsoons, the summer and the winter monsoons are also responsible for bringing rainfall or affecting the climate of India. Now, you've heard about the western disturbances also. Now, the western disturbances you've studied in class 8, class 9. It is occurring in the Mediterranean Sea, and right from the Mediterranean Sea, these winds, they are temperate cyclones. They are they are able to move along a very long way. As you can see, it is coming across, it's crossing the Caspian Sea, it is coming all across Asia, it is covering Afghanistan, Pakistan, and it is entering India from the northwestern side of India, giving rainfall to your Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, and all these places. So these western disturbances are also responsible for giving rainfall in India and influencing the climate of India. Now, another thing which is also responsible for affecting the climate of India is these winds which are called the jet streams. They are high velocity winds which are moving in the troposphere. Now they are also affecting the movement of these monsoon winds and affecting the climate of India. Next is altitude. Now children, you must have experienced when you go to a hill station, it becomes during the summer months when it's very hot at the plains, and when you reach a hill station which might be at a very high altitude, you feel cool there, isn't it? So it is because that as one goes from the surface to the earth to higher altitudes, the atmosphere becomes less dense and the temperature decreases. The more dense air at the plains, they are able to absorb it is able to absorb the heat more than the layers of the higher altitudes, because they are less dense. The temperature is not absorbed there, and it's very cool in those places. So just the lapse rate that we have, that every 166 meters we are ascending, there is a drop of 1 degree Celsius. Are you getting it? The lapse rate says that at every 166 meters of ascent, there is a drop of 1 degree Celsius. So the altitude, as we go higher and higher, it becomes cooler and cooler. Now the latitude is also responsible for the affecting the climatic conditions of India, and we know that we have a wide variety of latitudinal extent in India, right from 8 degree north in the south to it is 37 degrees north in the northern part of India. So this places, because more concentration of heat is there, the Tropic of Cancer is passing from the middle of the nation. So most of the nation, it is within the tropics and has a tropical type. That is why we say we have a tropical types of tropical and subtropical type of climate, because major part is falling within the heat zone, torrid zone it is falling. Now that was the factors which were affecting the climate of India. Now in class 9 children, you have studied that the earth is making a revolution around the sun, and as it is making a revolution, the seasons are changing. So in India also seasons are changing because of this, and you know very well, we have studied earlier that the movement of the sun is within the tropics. At a time it reaches the Tropic of Cancer, and the other time it reaches the Tropic of Capricorn. So the movement of the sun is within the two tropics, and likewise we have the different seasons in India. But our seasons are different from the rest of the world. We have different, we cannot, from the temperate regions, our seasons are different. Now the 4 major seasons that we have in India is the hot and dry season. Now questions are based on this also, and the time duration is very important children. Like the hot and dry summer from March till May. So from March till May we will consider it as the hot and dry summer. Now from June onwards, it is the hot and wet or the rainy season starts, or the southwest monsoon season starts. So that is the monsoon season, which is starting from June to September. The next is from October to November is the retreat of the southwest monsoons. 4th is the cold and dry weather season, that is also called the northeast monsoon, and that starts from December to February. So children, remember the duration. Do not get confused with the duration and the 4 season. Not like the seasons of the temperate region, where we have the hot season, the spring season, the autumn season, and the cold season. It is not like that. It is a different, where you need to know that after the hot season comes the monsoon season. And after the monsoon season comes the retreat of the monsoons, and then the cold season. So we do not consider spring and autumn to be a part of the seasons of India. So with this, I end this session, and stay home and stay healthy. Thank you.